everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Carol from Practical Mystic as we continue with part 3 of learning the court cards. Now, this video is going to focus a little bit on nights. I'm going to explain why I said a little bit on nights. But first, I would like to do a short little recap of information that I did in part 1 that's going to also help set the stage. First, the 4 nights, as you may recall, can represent young adult males 20 to 30 years of age. Yet, the tarot has evolved, and there is a possibility that when you do a reading, the energy or the interpretation of the card doesn't represent a male, but represent another aspect. So don't get stuck that they only represent males in a reading or a life, and we'll go into that a little bit more. Okay, they represent, yes, people that are coming and going in your life. They also represent events that are coming and going in your life. When we see nights, there's a lot of change, there's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of activities in some. Lastly, they can also represent what I said earlier, aspects of yourself, whether that is a personality trait or a shadow trait that you need to work on or is being brought up for you to consider. And it doesn't matter, as I said earlier, if it is of the opposite sex that it is being brought to our awareness in a reading. Now, we also learn that all nights are of the air element along with their individual corresponding to their suit elements. So we've got to keep that in our thoughts and in our memory. Now today I'm going to discuss a third aspect. Qualities that are in not only the knights, but in the kings and the queens. Hopefully, because the court cards seem to be the most challenging for us to interpret, understand, because you do have to have a little bit of background about astrology, being aware of what the elements represent, and the different aspects and links of astrology in the court cards. And that's what we're going to discuss here today. Now, there are 3 qualities, also known as quadruplicities, in astrology. And namely, they are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And these 3 qualities divide up the 12 signs of the zodiac into 3 groups: cardinal, fixed, and mutable, of 4 cards each. The signs in each group have a certain quality or common, or let's say distinct mode of operating in life. So let's go ahead and just discuss those quickly. The qualities for the cardinal is usually beginnings, birth, creation. For the fixed, it is preservation and containing. And the third is the mutable, and we have change or dissolving or ending. So a real simplified way of saying those qualities in life is that we have birth, we have life, and we have endings. Okay, what I did to help us along this and hopefully make it a lot easier to understand is the sheet, which I will discuss with you today, but you may want to go ahead and take a shot of it because it helps you to understand the court cards and which of these 3 qualities they are under. As I said earlier, the qualities are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The court cards that are all under the cardinal qualities are the kings, the fixed is going to be the queens, and the mutable, which we're discussing today, is the Knights. The zodiac signs that I alluded to just a few minutes ago, 4 in all, are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So what we need to know at this point is that these qualities and the court cards can be defined further as modes of expression. And let me go ahead and explain that. We've already established that the cardinal signs are the, let's say, the birthing. But the mutable signs being the ending then indicate, of course, change, dissolving. And it's fascinating that in astrology, these signs under the mutable quality are the closing month of each of the 4 seasons. And what that means is it's a time to complete the work and plan for the new season, death and rebirth in a nutshell. So let's look at some of the characteristics of the mutable signs. Well, I have here that they are adaptable, versatile, changeable, intuitive, and sympathetic. And their minds are very flexible and can be very ingenious, very quick. Negative aspects could be crafty, sly, inconsistent, and non-committal. Now, you also heard me say in the introduction that these qualities have a mode of expression which will help us, if we understand them, how to interpret the cards. Now, we will, of course, address these specifically when we do the kings and the queens, but I put them here for your knowledge. And the mutable signs, for our purpose today in discussing the Knights, they're adaptable and they are flexible, as well as what I said earlier. When we have birth, life, and endings, we know that they're winding down and having to shore things up, tie things up, and get ready to start again. Also, we see here the different astrological signs for each of the cards. And I know this isn't going to be on your screen, so let me bring these down a little bit and making sure that you can see this on your monitor. Let's see. Let me check to make sure you can see that as I discuss them one by one. Yes, you can. All right. What I'd like to bring to your attention first and foremost is I have also included how the Knights and their zodiac signs and their elements are either of masculine active energy or feminine receptive energy. Therefore, by looking at the pictures and images, we see that the Knight of Wands and his horse automatically is active, moving, where in the Knight of Cups, there's passivity a little bit. We'll discuss that a little further, but it's not off the ground. It's not seeming to be active. Again, the Knight of Swords, again being a masculine and active, that's flying in the air. And then lastly, the Knight of Pentacles being a feminine receptive, we see it where there is staying put, non-movement. Immediately you can understand that energy. the Knight of Wands, when we take into consideration the attributes and the zodiac signs, Sagittarius is attributed to the Knight of Wands. It's under the umbrella of air, and of course the suit of wands is fire, and certainly Sagittarius is a fire energy. This is dynamic because fire needs air to grow. So we see a knight who is very active. What we have to take into consideration and blend is the quality that it's under, which is the mutable. Therefore, this fire energy with that mutable quality and the personality may jump too quickly or dissipate, slow down, not lasting long enough. Remember, it's short-lived. It's a jolt, and then because it's under that quality of the mutable, it is definitely short-lived. And we'll discuss this a little more when I take and interpret and do the symbology one by one of these signs. Okay, let's go on to the Knight of Cups. Let's go on to the Knight of Cups and what that may entail. Well, first of all, the Knight of Cups is air and water, and air and water is said to not be compatible. The zodiac sign is Pisces, and it is feminine and receptive, and we see that in the card. Now, what hampers it, because it is under the mutable quality, the air element may work to kind of deter or change the emotions and feelings by overthinking, and then getting frustrated because you got that air, the mind, you've got the emotions working. So there could be futility that may lead to more talk and misunderstanding. We have to look at that energy in order to really interpret the meaning of these cards. All right, let's go to the Nine of Swords. We know that the Knight of Swords is air, very, very dynamic here. And of course, it is the zodiac sign, Gemini, the twins. It's masculine and active. So this person, you want to hire this person. You want to initiate with this person. Do or die. Their word and their actions will get it done. What you have to be careful of is that they overdo it, do things that are more than is needed, which can bring a deficit or a destructive element. But on the whole, the Knight of Swords is a very powerful get-it-done card, as is the Knight of Wands. The mutable signs help temper that a little bit. Sometimes that's quite beneficial. On the other hand, for the two other elements, the mutable signs really have to work at possibly overcoming. Lastly, let's talk about the Knight of Pentacles, air and earth. The zodiac sign is Virgo. It is feminine, receptive, and the air with the earth can bring about procrastination as it considers and reconsiders the proposal. The mutable qualities can slow up production and also miss opportunities. Now, of course, this is very quick and in a nutshell, but understanding the qualities and what they represent as well as understanding the personality traits of the zodiac and how they blend in, certainly will give you a better edge on how to interpret the court cards. So I'm going to leave it there. I know that was a lot of information. Next time I will take the knights one by one, and we will do the symbology, we will do the interpretation, and then go forward with the next ones, which of course is going to be the queens. Thanks everyone for joining me today. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. If you have comments, please feel free to leave them. Take care. Bye-bye.